How's it going? I'm just filling in our description for our stitch along today because I am just hanging out doing the week 1 community stitch along pattern. So I thought I'd go live and hang out about it. Let's see. It's been a long time since I've done a live. I'm not exactly sure if things are rolling. Let's see. It says my privacy is private. I don't know if that's true. Participant modes. Anybody can see. Looks like anybody can see. So we'll see how it goes. Very cool. Very cool. Hey, Spencer, do you want to hop on YouTube and just make sure that you can see this? I'm just going to get my materials together. I've got my my light reading for the future. I'm learning Ukrainian. I've got my Rocky Mountain gardening. Just got to get out my stitching materials. And we'll stitch week 1 of the community stitch along. I have all this Aida fabric. So let's see what fabric we shall use. Oh, this is a good big piece. Oh, good. Good, good, good. I haven't done my layout yet, so I was hoping that I would have a good piece. Oh, I also have this little tote. I could make this stitch along on a tote. It could be fun. I don't want to figure that out right now, though. Da-dum-dum. I could also do natural colored. Oh, it looks way yellower on the screen than it is in real life. Spence, can you see? Or is it private?
Let's see. Yeah, can you choose that privacy setting?
Aha. That looks good. Perfect. I think we are live now. Anywho'sville. So, I'll wait until you can see it, Spencer, and then I'll really dig into the stitching. Wait for the green light. Awesome. We are live indeed. So I'm just doing week 1 of the stitch along, and if this goes well, then I was thinking I might do more. So I'm just going to double check my pattern. So I want to double check the club pattern, the community stitch along layouts. We've got a bunch of great layouts. Hopefully you all found one that you liked. I'm going to just do the grid style, kind of the easy breezy lemon squeezy grid. We'll see what page number that is. Come on. Oh, things are going slow beans. Dum 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 dum. Go back to page 1. We'll just count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so it's just 10 squares wide. The squares are 14 by 14. Let's see. That's 140 plus a border on each side, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that's 11 borders. Okay, so we're looking at like 151 maybe. So we'll go from the center point. How many is that? 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's about 20, 40. Perfect. Okay, I'm just gonna pick a spot and hit go because I know I'll have plenty of room. I'm gonna use a Q-snap just for a little bit of structure. Have something to hold on to, especially as I'm working with a bit of a bigger pattern overall. I was thinking I might turn mine into a pillow at the end of the year when all is said and done. So I'm going to leave myself a pretty hefty border to go with just so that I can do a pillow. Perfect. We'll Q-snap her up. And we'll get ready to make Megan's beautiful pattern. I love it. The little cardinal. So looking at the color she specified, we're going to see if I have all of those. I know I have 310. Boop. I don't really use, I use DMC Blanc for white. 433. Oh, 433 is going to be a brown. Bam. 433. We're on a roll. I think I have 666. I always remember that one because it's a spooky number. And it's a really great red. DMC 666. I also like 817. I have a number of 817s. Could have sworn I had some 666. But maybe not. But maybe not. What's up?
Whether that's open and close. It's this camera's stuttering just a little bit.
Oh dear. Stutter camera.
Oh, that's important because like your stitching camera's good.
Stutterville, USA. Well, hopefully that helps. Closed a bunch of apps. Spencer Bean for the win, ladies and gents. Alrighty, I don't seem... Oh, I have 321. That's a little bit cherry for me. I guess I thought I had 666. I must have used it up. It's highly likely that I did. Because I worked on a project over the break that had some red in it. So let's just use 817. Oh, but we also use 817. Okay, so we have some dark red and some lighter red. So what can I use instead? 221 maybe? That's a little bit. Let me check my stash. I have a floss stash that might be the answer to our problems. Check this out. Bam. 321. That could work, just to have two kind of slightly different reds. What's this? 347. 347 is a nice red. A little muted. 321. It's just more... Geez, I just seem to have the same kinds of reds. Alrighty, alrighty. We're making do in real time. This is probably for the best because I definitely don't want anyone to feel limited in doing these patterns that, oh, I don't have the right colors. I couldn't possibly do it. Lies. Yes, you can. Just jump right in. Use the colors you've got. Make the most of what you've got. And I truly don't see any other reds in here. So I'll pull this one out merely because it is an option. We got 321 out? Yeah, okay. So we'll work with what we've got. Fun times. The summer in the city. Back on my neck, feeling to the air. Maybe I should use this brighter red so that I can use the darker red for the wing. Decisions. I might go over with some of this darker red, just to create some like lines or something to differentiate that wing. If only I had 666. It is one of my favorites. But I, alas, do not have much extra, apparently, of the beloved 666. Okay, now I need to look for. Point is that I have a lighter red and a darker red. I'm also going to look for 721. Looks like a little beaky beak. I'm going to go to my handy dandy floss chart. Bam. Oh, we've got 6 viewers. Hi. Hi, 6 viewers. I'm just stitching our stitch along pattern. I'm looking for 721. It's kind of a pumpkin-y orange. 721 there. Love this for reference. So now I know what to look for. Pumpkin-y orange. 721. Nope, that's 945. Not sure what that is. That could be it. 922, 758. I might not have that exact orange. So what I'm going to do is just leave this open and find one that's close. One of these will do. I think that'll do. Nope, that's yellow. This is orange land. Alrighty, alrighty. And then we have DMC 800, which is a lovely blue. Great choice, Megan. DMC 800, yeah, beautiful, beautiful sky blue here. So let's see if we've got it. 800's over here. I think it's off the page. 800, just like that. Kind of a, it's approaching periwinkle. So it's on the, what you can see is we go from pinks to purples to blues to greens. So the blues are listed. These are the more purpley blues, and these are sort of the more green aqua blues, and these are kind of your true blues. So 800 is on this side. So we are approaching a periwinkle, though it is not a true periwinkle itself. So let's see if we've got it to pull out here. If not, I'll just choose a nice blue. 828 could do. That's going to be in the arena. 747, 162. Yeah, I like this nice light blue. That works for me. Let's get going. Let's do some stitching. How's everybody? Sandra says, nice to see you searching for colors. Yeah, I didn't have all the reds. See, this is the thing, is you work with what you've got. I don't want anyone to feel out of their league or overly intimidated. I'm just going to split this into 3. I think I'm definitely going to stitch the borders as I go. As opposed to all in advance. I know some people are doing, they like to do their layouts in advance. Go you, love that. 10 out of 10, do it, do it. For me, that's too much. It's too much, makes me not want to do it. So I'm going to not do it, and I'm going to just do the borders as I go with each pattern. I do need a needle. I do need a needle to stitch. That is a necessity. It turns out. I'm going to put my needle minder on so that I don't lose her. And here we go. Usually when I stitch, I've got a show on in the background or a podcast. But not so today. So I'm just going to jabber away. Gibberty jabberty. Has anybody read the Prince Harry book? I kind of don't care. I kind of wish they'd all just go away. I think it's an interesting commentary on society that it's causing such a hullabaloo. But, so kind of from a, I don't know what standpoint it is I'm trying to say. I do think it's interesting, though. Yeah, just that everybody cares so darn much. All right, I'm just going to survey my fabric here. I've got like a pretty big chunk. And like I said, I am going to make this, I hope, into a pillow. So I imagine my work will kind of land here. So I am going to stitch, I'll move my needle minder over here. I'm going to stitch in this corner to begin with. And then when I pillowify this, it will, oh, I guess my mic's over here. When I make this into a pillow, it will be, you know, relatively centered on this fabric. I'm going to just go ahead and scooch my camera so that I can be a little bit more centered to my mic for you all. So I'm just going to stitch. So I think I'll just go in rows here, or maybe I should do sections. Yeah, I'll do this right section, probably go under and then come and do this left section and leave room for the birdie. So we're going to do, say 14, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14. It was roughly around here. Start in any old place, just to make sure I'm leaving the room. I wish we could like Zoom about it and say, how's everybody doing? Tell me about your life. And we could have a true chat. Guess I could tell you about mine. Oh yes, Sandra asks if I'm using 3 threads. I sure am. Well, now I have to double check. Yes. Sometimes I mean to use 3 threads and only section off 2. And then I catch myself and go, oh no, and I have to pick it out and start again. But in this case, I intended to use 3 and I am indeed using 3. I like to use 3 threads on size 14 Aida. Some people like to use 2 just for like a really clean, sparse look. Some people like to use 4 for a really filled, kind of chunky look. I like 3. It's like Goldilocks. Not too many, not too few, but just right. What's amazing is how much you can fit in these little 1-inch designs. We had a cutoff for submitting designs for this on December 1st, but the secret is you can still submit. So if as we go through these stitch-alongs and you are inspired and you want to submit your own pattern, but you didn't before the deadline, that's okay. We'll still take it. We want to see what you've got. And if we get more than we need, then we'll start a second round or something. Release 2 on some weeks, or I don't know. We'll make it work. Want everybody to feel included. Oh no! I just pulled my thread out of my needle. It's my least favorite thing. I'm working with quite an excess of fabric here and not a very big frame. I should probably get myself a bigger frame for this project. Could probably use my little lap stand. I feel like I don't have trouble threading my needles until I'm live or teaching a class, and then it always becomes an interesting experience. But anyway, I hope everybody's holidays were good. It was really, really nice to have a break. We took 2 full weeks off from work, from Stitch People work, which was nice. Let us do some mental recalibration. Let us get prepared on some other projects we're working on. We are in final stages of an edit for a TV comedy pilot episode that I wrote and produced with some friends and Spencer, and we are almost done editing that. We'll send that to film festivals soon. So I was able to put in some work there. We're getting ready to shoot a short film in the spring, which would be really fun. And then hopefully put that film into the film festival circuits. Get it picked up like the movie Whiplash. Damien Chazelle is the director, and he had this really great feature film script, but he was a brand new director. Nobody knew who he was, and so he couldn't get it picked up. He couldn't get it funded. So what he did was turned it into a short film. Well, actually, I think they took one of the scenes from the feature, kind of fleshed out one of the scenes, made it into a short film. The script attracted the attention of the actor J.K. Simmons, which is really, really cool. And he did the short film, and the short film was impressive that it attracted attention. I think having a relatively A-list actor also helped and they were able to make it into a really successful feature film. And then he went on to do La La Land and other beloved movies you know and love today. So for our project in the spring, we are hoping to do a similar thing. So if anybody has any connections to any A-list talent, I shamelessly ask for your help and an introduction, because we've got a really great script. We need a relatively well-known actor, would be really useful. Somebody, a male in his 60s, preferably. I'm shooting for Bryan Cranston. Full disclosure. He would be my ideal pick for this project. So if anybody knows Bryan Cranston, let me know. If Bryan Cranston is watching this cross-stitch video, hello, sir. I have a script for you. It'll be a great film. It's inspired by, it's a friend of mine wrote it, and he's going to direct it. And it's inspired by his dad's life as a mailman. And it's a fictionalized story based on his father's story about a man, a Vietnam War veteran, loses his wife to COVID in 2020, and he is also faced with delivering mail during all the shutdowns and everything like that. And it's sort of a unsung hero story about the delivery people during that summer when kind of nobody else was supposed to be leaving. And a lot of people were relying on the post office for their medications, for packages and things from their loved ones and all sorts. So kind of a movie of redefining one's relationship with themselves and the younger generation and technology, and kind of it's a really great bridge building kind of a movie and script. And the younger kids learn to relate with the older guy, and the older guy learns to relate with the kids in his neighborhood, and kind of he was a veteran, but he's now serving his country in a bit of a different way, as a mail carrier on the front lines, if you will. So kind of a lovely story. Love an underdog, love an unsung hero. I think we all can relate to that. Let me just count my pattern here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? Great. And then I will expand. This is my hope. See, I've never done a stitch along, full disclosure. I've not even done our own stitch along. For the podcast last year, we did a really fun stitch along. Didn't even do that because I find them to be intimidating and overwhelming in every regard. And I'm not somebody who's great with consistency. I'm good at doing the same things that are important to do. I'm bad at doing them at the exact same time on the exact same days. You know what I mean? My nighttime routine is the same. The time of day at which that bedtime routine happens varies greatly. So as such, having like a weekly stitch along where I have to do the pattern every week at, in a certain way at a certain time makes me very nervous. But hopefully, if you're anything like me, the idea with the Stitch People community stitch along is that these little squares are bite-sized enough that they won't be as overwhelming. And my hope is, in doing a little live video, that it'll be something fun to look forward to together, that we can hang out and I can stitch and have some videos, and we can see how it comes together over the course of the weeks. Just realized that my stitching was not particularly in view. Sorry about that. All this excess fabric has me out of sorts, out of my typical groove. All right, so we have 2 rows of 4 under this row of 3 stitches. See how this comes together. I think Megan stitched this up. I think she mentioned that like as a pendant necklace. so it's small enough that you could make it into a little charm pendant to wear. I love the cardinal. I grew up with a lot of cardinals around. Let's see. Sandra asked about how many of these stitch-alongs they're going to be. This is a year-long stitch-along, so there's actually, I think we have 50 motifs because the first one just came out, so due to our break. So yeah, there's going to be 50. We have a layouts pattern that should be available to you in your account at stitchpeople.com. It has 6 different layout options for you, all ready to go in pattern form of various styles. Some are very simple, straightforward. Some are a little more ornate. So yeah, so there's going to be 50 total. You can do as many or as few of them as you'd like. You know, you could create little projects of 4 each, you know, just 4 little squares, or you could kind of do it however you'd like. All of our layouts are to tackle all 50 though, just to put them all together. Let's see, 1, 2, over here. So yeah, it'll be for the duration of 2023. And hopefully it goes well. I doubt I'll be able to do one of these videos every week, but it'll be fun to do them when I can. I want to make sure that I wind up on the left side of this, so I'm going to do a little trick that I like to do when I need to finish the X's but keep going the direction I was headed. So I do every other cross stitch. Oops. Bumped my mic. Apologize. So yeah, so I did the farthest left cross stitch, did the second to right, did the farthest right, and then the second to left, and it puts me going back the direction that I need to go here, which is important. And then I have to skip 1, 2 for the little feet over here. And I'll do 4 more stitches. Kind of nice to just relax and watch a little project come together. I was able to finish some projects over the break. I need to post photos of them. Planning to do one on Instagram today, but the day got away from me and I haven't posted it yet. Maybe I'll do it after this, but I finished a portrait for my cousins, and I finished a project for a friend of mine. Those were fun to do, so it's been nice to be stitching again, I guess is what I'm getting at. I don't get to do it as much as I used to. When I was just stitching portraits and selling them, it was all stitching all the time. And then I went into the pattern business, and now it's all patterns all the time. Actually, to be honest with you, it's all social media all the time. Instagram is so time consuming. And emails and planning. Pattern compositing, making a PDF look nice, easy to read. Oh yes, Sandra says, thank you. Hard to choose what layout to choose. I know, they're all so cute, so good. That's why I'm just going straight forward. I'm doing the 5 rows of 10 squares. And maybe make it into a pillow at the end of the year. So 1. Alrighty, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of 5 across. I'm gonna have to change my floss here pretty soon. I think I'll do the branch next. After I finish the blue, just to give the bird something to sit on. And then I'll do the bird and then fill in the little details and the cloud. The little cloud details, very sweet. Love that. If this was a gift for somebody, you could put some little initials in the cloud or something. Oh, I have 13 views. Thanks everybody for watching. Just a nice way to spend a Monday evening. Wonder if I could figure out how to like pipe in some music. That would be fun. I know that there's, you know, like the game streamers do music behind their streams oftentimes. You can pipe in other sources of audio. And I know there's, for specifically the game streamers, you can get royalty-free audio, which is really cool that people provide that service. Alrighty. After I finish this row, I'm gonna swap my floss. Find it difficult sometimes to chat while I stitch because I get concentrated on what I'm doing or putting my needle in a certain place or making sure I'm not losing my place, losing my threads, any of that. And it results in my sentences becoming a little bit herky-jerky. So I'm just gonna tie this off. Clippity dippity doodah day. We'll re-up. I wonder if I have any tape in here. It would be, I have some double-sided tape. That won't do. It'd be very convenient to hold this on. I just need a bigger frame. It's probably the best thing to do. Maybe I'll set that up for next time. My lap frame is free and available now that I finished my latest project. So 4 rows of 5 stitches here along the left side. Hold that down. I've been going to an exercise class on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and it's kind of like a full body, high intensity training deal. Really, really fun. Feeling myself getting stronger. Loving that. But because I'm doing more upper body strength training, lifting weights and things, I'm finding stitching makes my hands fall asleep a lot faster because my biceps and triceps and arms and wrists are already kind of sore, probably a little swollen from exercising. They're pretty intense classes, so the soreness lasts a few days. So I need to stretch a little more, I think, to get all of those aches and pains out of my forearms and my wrists, my biceps, probably all the way people don't realize how tight your pecs can get, especially as we slouch looking at our phones and stuff. It shortens up all the space in our chest and our pecs, which clinches off the nerves and the blood flow, which is no good at all. So I can feel my left hand especially getting a little tingly. What you gonna do? Yeah, we gotta get a frame for next time. Get all this excess fabric out of the way. Curious, for those who are watching, or for those who watch later, tell me what you like to use as a frame. Do you just use a traditional hoop? Do you use Q-snaps? Do you use a floor frame, a lap frame? What do you like? I don't know, maybe I'm in the market. Maybe I want to reassess my setup, because this probably isn't super sustainable. One thing Spencer and I have been doing this year, we signed up for the Daily Stoic. It's like a 21-day New Year, New You thing, and you get a little challenge every day for the first 21 days of the month. That's been really nice. It's just little things like reconnect with somebody you care about, you know, that you've sort of lost touch with, or do something nice for somebody, or stop a bad habit, start a new habit. Really good little prompts to think about. It's got me reading more generally. Somehow in my brain, I've learned that reading is a luxury, but it is a necessity to learn and to grow. So I'm trying to make more time for reading because I enjoy it and it's good for me. It's more than just enjoyment. 1, 2, 3, 4. Apologize, I'm not super chatty. Usually I'm super chatty and I have like so much to say, but today's been a long day. I'm finding myself getting a bit lost in my thoughts as I try to avoid this massive excess of fabric whilst I stitch. So do forgive me. But the fun part is I'm coming up on these clouds, so it's about to get a little crazy up in here. Gonna have to avoid them. Only 2 more rows to go and then it's Cloud City. What's gonna happen? We're gonna count. We're gonna count. And we're gonna avoid them is what's gonna happen. It will be very uneventful. Unless I've just jinxed myself, and now when I get to the clouds, I'll make some sort of big mega mistake. Spencer and I watched the pilot for The Last of Us yesterday. Don't know if anybody else caught that. We really, really liked it. It's based on a video game that we haven't played. A PlayStation game called The Last of Us. It came out in 2013, something like that. And anyway, they've adapted it for TV. First episode aired yesterday. There's been all this big marketing buildup and fanfare happening. They've made a big hype about it. And it was fun to see. I think the pilot episode was excellent. It was really, really good. Fun to not be disappointed in something that has so much hype. I feel like that happens a lot lately. Good marketing does not a good movie make. Alrighty, so we're into beak territory here. So I've got to do a half stitch. I'm going to do a traditional half stitch where I do a full diagonal. I probably should have done this quarter first, just to fill in the side and keep the look of the cross stitch. And then we will continue with our, whoop, I caught the fabric. My thread came undone from the needle. Very disastrous. This is my favorite thing in the Great British Baking Show. When something goes wrong, everybody always goes, disaster. Ugh, disaster. Or disaster. Or disaster, depending on where you're from. A complete disaster. It's just such a great word. Such a great, it's so descriptive, it's so visceral. But we fixed it. We've rethreaded our needle. And all is well. In Cross Stitch Town, USA. Man, Cross Stitch Town, USA, that would be intense. If everything was cross-stitched. Like for a cute animated series. Welcome to Cross Stitch Town. Stitch People cartoon, that'd be fun. Okay, this is it. We're nearing the end of this row. And it's almost time for the clouds. I really hope this floss makes it. I'm starting to play chicken with it. I'm not entirely confident that it's going to get us to the end of where we need it to get. I'm going to do something a little counterintuitive just because I couldn't bring my needle through that point very easily and I didn't want to force it. So I'm going the other way. There we go. Alrighty. Oh, we've got another half stitch up here. So I'll do my quarter stitch first. Go the traditional route. And then I'm just going to finish this row because I only have to skip 2 little stitches for this cloud. 1 stitch, 2 stitch, red fish, blue fish. Make a cross-stitching Dr. Seuss book. That would be adorable. Okay. Three. So what I'm going to do is stick to the right of the cloud. I'll finish the right of the cloud and kind of go up and over to the other side to finish the left of the cloud to save on floss because I don't want to waste any. I could waste it very quickly. Realizing I'm going all over the place in my camera views. So we're just going to scooch. We're going to scooch. We're going to scooch so you can see me and hear me a little bit better. Sorry about that. Like gradually scooching out of frame over time. Alrighty, so we've got half, half, whole. I go over one. That's going to be 1, 2, 3. And then we'll need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 above that. It's been a long time since I've done a pattern that wasn't my own. How crazy is that? So I definitely feel a little bit more pressure to like follow it, get it right. I'm really worried this is going to be enough floss. We'll see. We'll see who wins. Me or the floss. What I think is funny, here's something I've been thinking about, is Christmas decorations. People have been putting them up earlier and earlier and earlier. It seems every year of my life, people get earlier with their Christmas decorations. And, oh no, oh my friends, oh somehow I'm off. Oh no, what have I done? Oh no, what have I done? Did I get the cloud wrong? The end of that thought was, and yet people still find it tacky for Christmas decorations to stay up super late after Christmas, but it's okay to start putting them up like end of October, early November. And I think that's crazy. Let me count this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so I must have just gotten this off. So we have 1, and then I did 4. Then we have 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I go over 1, boop. Then I go over 1, boop. We have a half, do. I have 3, 1, 2, 3. And then I go 1, 2, 3, 4. What? This doesn't make any sense. What have I done? Okay, so the height is correct, but somehow I got off over here. This is wild. I can't figure out where my mistake is. If you see my mistake, please let me know. This is like Lizzie being cross stitch crisis in real time. So you have 4 stitches here, like this, 4 stitches. Then we go 5 stitches, 5 stitches. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4 rows total. 1, 2, 3, 4 rows total. We go over 1. I went over 1. We go over one more. I went over one more. We go over one more. It's a half stitch. We go up. It's a half stitch. 3. 1, 2, 3. Stacked above. Oh. Oh, I see. Okay, I see what I did. I see what I did. Not all is lost. We are not so far off. I doubled the rows of 3 when I didn't have to. So I need to go down here. This is supposed to be a row of 5, not of 3. Phew! That's an easy fix. I didn't misstitch. I understitched. The best kind of mistake to make. Because you just fill in what you missed. And all is well. And of course it had to do with the cloud. I knew this cloud was going to throw me off. I just knew it. The trickiest cloud in the universe. Okay. All right, anyway, back to my very, very important thought. Why is it that you can set up Christmas decorations as early as you want without any flack? I guess people don't do exterior decorations until like December or very end of November. But it just seems like it's like anything goes on the interior decorations for timing. But don't you dare leave those lights up past like the first week of January, which I disagree with. I think exterior Christmas lights are some of the best part of the holidays. I think they make the entire winter season brighter, and I say, yes, please, more of that, personally. I think they're friendly and fun, and they light up the dark. So why not? When I was little, I used to think that pixie dust, like in Peter Pan, it was like little capsules of pixie dust on the Christmas lights. And that's what made them glow different colors. Okay, so now I'm going to make my way back down this left side, and I think I'll have just barely enough floss. We shall see. Alrighty, we made it. We made it with the blue floss. And the mistake we made was not the worst mistake in the world. Not irrevocable, thank goodness. Just gonna pull that off. We'll clip that off. And then I'll do my, I think the brown next, just to give that little branch. And then I'll do the red bird. Oh, I've got a few people here. Say hello if you're watching. I hope to do these more regularly. I was saying earlier, I hope to add, I could figure out how to put music in. It could be a bit of a party, fun time. Just threading my needle. Live and in Technicolor, my friends. The most interesting thing on the internet right now. You're watching it. How does that feel? Pretty spiffy, I hope. Alrighty. We are on our way with the brown branch. Twig. Birds can land on twigs. They're small enough. 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches over. I had a great interview today with Cassie McIntyre for the Stitch People podcast, so you all have that to look forward to. It was really, really fun chatting with her. Chat about all sorts of stuff. She lives in a tiny home, which is super rad. It's like 700 square feet, which I think would be really, really fun. She lives on her own, so it suits her well, and I think if I lived on my own, I would enjoy a small space like that. There's something about a tiny home that really appeals to me. But we talked all about kind of different organization techniques, or rather how she stores her cross-stitching supplies. She's got to be really judicious with space, given that she doesn't have a lot. And I just think that is an interesting challenge. And oh, I've got a knot. We've got Crystal Tennessee's podcast is coming out this week. We've got, I don't think we have any products happening this week other than the Stitch Along pattern on Friday. Can't remember whose is next in line, but they're all so good and cute. You know what I'm going to do is just stitch all of the rest of this branch one direction, and then I'll go back the other way. Might as well. Wish I could ask everybody what they're reading these days, what they're listening to, what they're watching. Cassie said she's a true crime podcast aficionado, which is fun. I've listened to a couple of those myself. Sometimes they get heavy, sometimes they creep me out. But lately I've been listening to Spencer and I have been listening to Smartless, which is a fun podcast. I've been listening to, oh, there's a conspiracy theories podcast that I've been listening to. That one's interesting. I'm only a few episodes in. It's been on for a couple years, and I started at the beginning. The first episode is about Princess Diana, which in light of Prince Harry's big books and series, it's just interesting. But yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting format because it's got two hosts, which is unique. Well, I guess it's not unique. It's got two scripted hosts. I'm used to a podcast where either people are very conversational, kind of like how I do the Stitch People podcast. It's just people talking together, having interviews. I'll occasionally do like a crime junkie podcast where one person seems to be kind of loosely scripted, telling the story of what happened, but the other person is sort of reacting in real time to the information and asking follow-up questions. But to have two people who are totally scripted, it's kind of a different vibe. I don't know that I like it. I'm still listening because I think the stories are interesting. But I have to shake out my hand. It's a little falling asleep. Too much holding of the frame. Holding tight. This cute little square is turning out so sweetly, though. we should have it done in not too long. I don't know how long I've been stitching, I admit. Can't remember what time I went live. Oh, I've been going for about an hour, I guess. So, but I didn't have any of my materials out at the start. I also think I have a giant knot on the back of this, but it's not in my way, so I'm just going to keep stitching. Didn't realize it until I think I was a little too late to fix it anyway, so we'll just clean it up on the back. Oh, it's not so bad. We will just run our needle through a couple times to hold it in place. All that extra floss. And my bad, sometimes that happens. I felt a little snag, but I perceived that the length of my floss hadn't changed. But then as I kept stitching, I could feel the loop catch a little bit, so oh well. There we go. So I secured that. Cut off the ends. Great. We are nearing the final lap here. I think between the two of these, three of these, what did I decide? 817 is going to be my red. So I don't have 666 on hand, so that's all right. Oh, hi, Amanda. Oh, Amanda, you've got nothing to apologize for. Mr. Ballin, I'm not sure. Tell me more. What is... Amanda says I have to look like this because the microphone is like right in front of the screen where my chat window is. But yeah, Amanda says, I like Mr. Ballin. I don't know who that is. Tell me more. Tell me everything. Yay, someone chatting with me in the chat. I didn't announce that I was going live today. I just sort of wanted to do it, like, sneakily. See if we would catch anyone's attention. And just kind of test out the process. I don't do a lot of lives unless it's like an event. And people are planning on it and it's been announced. But like just like a, hey, I'm stitching, hang out with me. I don't do a lot of it. And I thought maybe it might be something fun to try in the new year. I don't know. But anyway, so I know there's only a few of you to be chatting with me, but please do if you're there. Anywho, we're talking audiobooks. Oh, I just finished, I think I finished it. I'm either completely finished with or very close to finishing Steve Martin's autobiography, and he does the audiobook narration. So it's very funny, just kind of his life and career story. It's very interesting, and he talks about his early days and his kind of comedy philosophy, which is just cool to hear. I like his stand-up comedy routine. He said so the formula of a joke is that you're creating tension, essentially. You set up a story, you know a punchline is coming, but essentially the story that precedes the punchline creates tension, and then the punchline is the release of tension, which allows you to laugh at the release of tension. His stand-up routine, he really wanted to experiment with what if he never provides the relief? What if he never gives you the punchline? What would happen? What will an audience do when the punchline is not handed to them? So a lot of his physical comedy and his kind of wild and crazy guys kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Routines, I guess, were sort of based in this concept. And he wanted to sort of recreate that feeling that you get when you stay up too late with friends talking and you just wind up laughing kind of for no particular reason. And his theory was that people will break the tension themselves with their own laughter. And indeed, they do. So there comes a point where you sort of don't even know why you're laughing. You just are. And I really like that. Oh, I see. Amanda says he just started on Amazon podcast. He's awesome. That's very cool. I'll have to check it out. Just a new podcast host or show to check out. Yeah, I always thought I liked Steve Martin's philosophy. So if you need a good audiobook, I really like the audiobooks that are especially autobiographical ones, but they're narrated by the person. I listened to Amy Poehler's, that was really good. I listened to Tina Fey's, that was really good. Mindy Kaling's book is really fun on audiobook. Jenna Fisher, she played Pam in The Office. Her audiobook is really good. Oh, speaking of The Office, The Bassoon King, that's an excellent audiobook to listen to if you like audiobooks. That is Rainn Wilson, who plays Dwight Schrute on The Office, and Dwight Schrute, the character, writes the introduction to the book, and Dwight gives the introduction in the audiobook, so you sort of get that taste of the character early on. I'm just going to do a full cross stitch here and fill in that bird eye with a French knot later. Right now I'm working my way through an Eckhart Tolle book and a Joe Dispenza book. I like kind of sciencey books. Thanks for everybody hanging out. I hope you've had a good Monday, good start of the week. Back from the holidays. We're like officially into the year, well into the swing of things. I unfortunately don't really get to shut off after this. I wish I could. I didn't get a chance to check my emails today. So, gotta do that. Gotta catch up a little bit. But this pattern's coming together super well. It's so cute. Oh no, I unthreaded my floss. Keep doing that. Keep pulling it right on out. It's no good, I tells ya. No good at all. Okay, let's see. All right, back on track, folks. Nothing to see here. That's a show Spencer and I are watching, is The Offer. It's a series about the making of the movie The Godfather. So they made a TV show about making that movie, which I guess was filled with all sorts of drama. With the mob and Frank Sinatra and all sorts of twists and turns. It's a good show, though. So far, so good. For people who like a British crime drama, we just finished a series called Slow Horses, which is really, really, really good. Pretty good cast in that one. Started Tulsa King. No, I guess we finished the first season. It's good. High production value, but the writing dips after the first few episodes. The writing gets kind of weird, kind of stupid, kind of basic. If you ever watch a show and it's like visually beautiful, the music's great, and you can even tell like the acting's all right, but it just feels off, it's probably the writing. Because no matter how well you act or direct or shoot a project, if it's a bad script, there's not much you can do to make it a better story. And unfortunately, bad scripts are greenlit all the time. A lot of action movies don't have good scripts. They're getting better with that. But it used to be that action movies were kind of written in a way that's like whatever it takes to get to a big chase scene or a big fight scene or whatever. And you could really hear it in the writing. Alrighty, so we've got 2 rows of 4 here. And then I have a row of 5 under that of these little O's. I wonder if I'll have to change my red floss. That'd be cool if I didn't. I like the idea of not having to swap my floss. Swap the floss. Swap the floss. This is why pets take so long in Stitch People portraits, is because I'm looking at this bird like, oh, I'm almost done. And it's like, except I have to swap for black, and then I have to swap for orange, and then I have to swap for a little bit darker red and maybe combine some colors. So it's deceiving because it's such a small amount of space that the level of detail therein is often pretty intense. And so, you know, don't get too excited. One, two, three, 4, 5. Okay, and then just a couple rows thereafter. One thing Spencer and I did for Christmas, or Christmas present to each other, we're like officially into adult land, is we got wardrobes from IKEA, like big floor to ceiling, almost ceiling. We have sort of a drop ceiling in our basement where our bedroom is, and we got wardrobes to organize clothes more nicely in the closet, and it's been really nice. I was just thinking about what I have to do after this, and I need to check my email and I need to fold some laundry, but then I thought I get to put them away in a logical way and not just folded and stuffed into drawers that are too small. It's been a nice treat. Good organization is a nice treat. It's nice to have a system where things make sense. Oh, guys, I don't know if I'm gonna make it on this floss. I hope I can. I'll take it as long as it'll go. We'll see. We might have to squeeze it. Alrighty. Do you ever wish you could put yourself on high speed? Like, I'm gonna sit here until this is done. I don't see myself getting anything to eat or drink between this being done. I don't need to take any bathroom breaks. So, like, can I just put myself on high speed and, like, finish it up? Okay, can I get 6 more stitches? I don't think I'll be able to. I am curious how far I will be able to get, though. 1, 2. Maybe I can squeeze it out. Come on. Oh, that's probably right where I've got a little bit of a snag. Just having a hard time bringing my needle up. Like, what is going on? Am I the only one who does this? Like, I just have this resistance to swapping my floss sometimes. Don't want to do it. So I try my darndest not to. I think I'm gonna have to. It's getting to the point where I can't almost even get my needle going the other direction. So close, yet so far. Like 4 stitches left, alas. Here we are, swapping our floss. Oh, hi, Katie. Katie's just joining in. Will there be one of these every week? Yes, ma'am. And then she says, it would be neat to put them all together quilt style as a yearly stitching journal. That's exactly the point. I liken them to quilt squares. They're like little getting to know you stitchy quilt squares. So we've got a few different layouts when you sign up for the Stitch Along that you should have access to in your pattern downloads area of your Stitch People account. We've got 6 different layouts you can do, but it would also be fun to kind of do them if this is popular enough, if people want to see us do it again. I mean, if we don't have a lot of people do it and kind of nobody cares, then we won't do it again next year, to be honest with you. But if it goes well this year and people like it and they want to do it again, which would be really fun, because everybody who participates could also participate again next year, and it would be like, oh, this year I've been focusing on this and this is on my mind, and so here's my new quilt square. Could be kind of fun. But anyway, yeah, there's a whole bunch of different ways you could stitch these little squares. And so we have a few different layout options you can use, whichever one appeals to you, or come up with your own. You could stitch them into a literal quilt. That would be fun. I don't know how that would work, for I'm not a quilter. But I do intend to quilt my first Stitch People portrait this year as an experiment. We shall see, because I've seen some cute quilts. Alrighty, so there were the 3 red stitches I was missing and had to completely swap my floss for. Boo. I'm going to switch gears, stitch the cloud really quick, because I want to give myself the satisfaction of when I'm done with the bird, I'm done with the project. I just know that that'll be nice for the, the last stitch of the beak or something to be my final stitch of the project and call it done. So I'm gonna quick do this cloud that I almost got completely wrong and joked about not getting wrong and then almost did get wrong. For those who've been watching the whole time, you know what I'm talking about. I just miscounted a little bit. That's okay. So I'm gonna get started here. Just stitch this baby along. Okay. Probably a longer tail than I would normally do, but because I've got all this excess fabric, I just don't want to take any chances. Okay. So we'll do Mr. Cloud really quick. Probably use 4 strands for the cloud, might make it look a little more puffy. That would be cute. Thanks for joining, Katie. If you're still here, happy to have you. I was saying earlier, I didn't really make it a whole thing about stitching today live on the YouTube, because I didn't, just kind of testing the concept. Feel free to ask anything in the questions, though. What did I want to be when I was little? An archaeologist. What did I love? Mummies, Egypt, and the Beatles. Nobody asked that, but that's just an example of any type of questions that I will answer. I have an error notification from YouTube. It says that there's not enough bandwidth here, so I'm going to try pausing some things. I don't know if that will help. I don't know. This is all very new. What's going on, YouTube? I don't know if anybody can still hear me. I still have this error message that says you're all just going to stay buffering. Alrighty. Well, I'll carry on. We shall see what happens. Cloud Dunzo. Now time for this wing. I'll just use this slightly darker 221. The reds aren't the exact same hue, which I don't love, but I do like that it's a darker shade. So that's good. Oh, Sandra, hello. I see your chat. I hope you can hear me. I still have an error message, but I'm going to just hope that it works itself out, and I will answer your questions in hopes that the answers get to you. So, you were very kind to say you enjoyed the Michaels classes. The Halloween project was super fun. We don't have anything planned yet with Michaels for 2023.
It's looking like the voice is coming through.
But I'm stuck.
But the video, I think that froze.
Oh, well, that stinks. Something about the stream quality. I think it might be OBS. OBS has caused all sorts of problems. So I don't know. So I think it has to do with the same. Remember when I recorded and like I recorded through OBS and it was like jittery.
Yeah.
I think we might be running into input issues.
Okay.
But if you can still hear me, all you lovely people, Sandra's asking if we have any Michaels classes coming up, and not as of now. We don't have anything scheduled with Michaels or DMC. We were thinking of maybe doing our own smaller bite-sized classes in that same style, which is doing them ourselves, and then we have a little more creative control over what we're teaching and when. Probably lean into like hairstyles might be fun. Might be fun over the summer to do like a hairstyle a week. For Stitch People portraits. So stay tuned, but nothing as of yet. Oh good, Jennifer can hear us. Hello, Jennifer. Yeah, Spencer came in. He's like, I can hear you, but I can't see you. And I think it might be our stream service. It's called OBS. Something about the settings, because I've got my Stitch camera and I've got my face camera and I've got a microphone, and I think it's just a lot of information for the app to handle and take in all at once. So maybe if I turn off my face camera, maybe that will help. I could do it. I turned off my face camera, so I'm hoping that with some thinking, the system can catch up. And that might reduce the amount of information it's trying to process and get to all of your screens, if anyone is still here. And if you're not here, I totally understand, because this video has died, and that's annoying and not fun and pretty boring. So feel free to head out, and I'll post pictures of the finished work. Going live on YouTube is mostly a great way to hang out with all of you and to keep myself accountable to continue the stitch. The art of the stitch. Just thread